let's talk bonnet vents. So, in a typical front-engined car, bonnet vents are meant there to get hot air out, or in the likes of like a Subaru or something, you use it as like a scoop and it sucks cold air into the intake. With this Toyota MR2, it's the engine's at the back, so like a scoop or a vent in the front shouldn't really do much in the way of anything really, because in this car in particular, like I've got nothing in there. There's a battery and there's like obviously the radiator and stuff, but you wouldn't think it would do a lot, and you wouldn't think people would typically like go out their way to put a vented hood or whatever. But they're quite popular for one very specific reason: is this car is really light on the front axle. I don't know the distribution or whatever, but in this car, like everything's obviously taken out of it, it's all stripped out of the front. Usually you get like a spare wheel, storage compartment, that kind of stuff, but I know a lot of people just take it all out and you use it as like a track car kind of thing, and you get rid of all that stuff. In doing that, you get rid of a lot of the weight over the front axle, and not so much like under 70, but as soon as you get like 110, 120 mile an hour, the car gets really light over the front, and it kind of goes like this, and it's just not a nice feel. And like this car being quite powerful, you get to those speeds quite quickly, and then the car is very unstable, which is not very good, and it's not very enjoyable, and it's unsafe. So what a lot of people do is they put vents in the front, and that allows the air to escape from underneath the front, because another reason that the car is quite skittish at high speeds is because the air gets stuck under the bonnet and then it has nowhere to go. There's no like real venting from underneath the bonnet anywhere, as standard. Like it kind of just ends there like a wall. There's like the firewall or whatever you call it, like there's that, and then there's nowhere for the air to go unless like underneath the car, which is not good. You don't want all your air rushing underneath there. So there's a few different bonnet vents that people buy. I would say the popular one is the Elise bonnet vents. I think it's the Elise S1, like the Series 1 Elise. They're massive vents. They must do really quite a good job. I had some at one point. I just never fitted them. Absolutely massive vents, absolutely massive. But yeah, you have to cut a massive hole in your bonnet or hood and fill it in from there basically, and then you have to move, I think you only have to move the power steering pump. You have to move it a little bit over to the side. I mean, you can keep it in place, but you have to cut the vent a little bit, which in my opinion looks a bit naff, but oh well. Another popular one is like the veal side bonnet. I've seen a couple of them. They look quite cool, but quite a lot of money. You have to get it imported from Japan, so if you don't live in Japan, it's a lot of money for the actual bonnet itself, and then you got to pay for shipping, customs, yada yada yada. It adds up. You can get, what other ones can you get? You can get the Sibon, I think that's how I'm pronouncing it right, Sibon. That's like 3 little vents in each side of the bonnet. They look quite cool, and you can get them in carbon as well, which is really cool, but again, quite a lot of money. I think when I was looking, it'd be like $1,000 for the carbon bonnet, and then for the shipping and everything, it'll be at least half that on top of it, if not that again. What other ones are there? I mean, you can just make up some vents. I've seen people with like Focus RS vents. I've seen people with Jaguar XKR vents. I think the XKR ones look quite cool, but I don't know whether they actually vent a lot because they're quite small. And then I've gone with these ones, which I'll show you in a second. They're the Epsilon ones, and they're pretty beefy. I'd say the actual vent itself is maybe a little bit bigger than the Elise one, but there's two of them, and you can kind of put them where you want them. But yeah, you do have to cut out your bonnet, and you do have to move the fuse box, and you have to move the power steering pump again. Yeah, I'll show you under the bonnet now. Have a little look. So yeah, these are the vents I've gone with. These are the Epsilon ones. So yeah, I've had to do some modifications under here. So the power steering pump would usually go here. I've put it over here for now. Just made up some brackets and some big fat cable ties. Also, I put this fuse box down here, upside down. Doesn't really matter. It's pretty secure there as well. And obviously, I've got a lightweight battery as well, so that is well out of the way. And also, the good thing about this is charge cooler tank goes right in the middle, and these vents go either side of it, which is really nice. And yeah, I had some leftover grill from my bumper, so literally just stuck them in there. So yeah, like as I was saying, air tends to go in here and then gets stuck under here, and then that makes like a pocket of air and makes the car light on the front. But this nicely flows air out. Let's see what it looks like when it's down. So it looks like that when it's down. Looks pretty good. Got the grill under there, and it looks really aggressive. Looks quite cool. Yeah, like they're not hard to install either. The hardest bit is like committing to cutting it, really. Like that's the bit that I found quite difficult. Was you got to be okay with if you fuck it up, you got to buy a new bumper, or not a new bumper, a new bonnet. Sorry. In this country, they're not that bad. In the UK, you can pick one up for like, I mean, you might get lucky and someone will give away one, like a crappy one. It's just about, you either got to go and pick it up or pay for the delivery kind of thing. But yeah, like, I've had a couple of drives with it now. And yes, it's night and day, the difference. Like, especially above like 120, the car is so much more planted. Like, there's no skittishness about it. It's definitely a worthwhile upgrade. So yeah, if you're thinking about it, definitely give it a go. I think the Elise vents, as well as the Epsilon ones, are worth it. The Elise ones you can pick up for like 40-50 quid off of eBay. You've obviously got to fit it yourself, so you can buy the whole bonnet like already made. I think the cheapest I've seen an already made one is about $400, and then you've got to import it to the UK. Like, if you're not, I think if you live in America or China or wherever they make them, obviously it'll be a bit less. Or if you want to go like the ultra cheap route, just buy some generic vents off of eBay. I've seen people with like Focus RS vents. Literally just cut a little hole, slap them in. Same kind of principle. They might not offer as much airflow as like the bespoke made ones, like these ones. But yeah, I'm really happy with these. They add a level of aggressiveness to the car that I really like. And yeah, it fits well with the lines, like the flowing lines of the car. So yeah, if you're thinking about it, I'd definitely say it's one of the best upgrades you can do if you're looking at going at speed in this car. You definitely need something. You can't. It's like if you're tracking it or whether you're taking it to drag strips and something, you need to look at the aero. So you need to get the air out the front somehow, whether that's drilling holes, putting vents in. I've seen people put like flat bottom floors as well. That's definitely on the cards for me. Probably not this year, maybe next year, next summer, depending on how much time I have, because that'll be a bit of an involved kind of thing to do. I'd like to do it myself. Like everything on this car I'd like to do myself. That's kind of the goal of the car. Like if it wasn't, if I'd have just paid people to do stuff for me, I'd have bought a better car to begin with, you know, like a Porsche or something, like but with this car being how cheap it is to buy, being how cheap the parts are to buy, like, I feel confident enough to give everything a go. And if I mess it up, it's not a big deal. Like, I don't think there's a single panel on this car that's worth like £100 really. Like, so if I mess one up, like, I'll just go and buy another one. Whereas, like, if I bought like a Porsche or something of that caliber, yeah, you'd be absolutely terrified to cut into the bonnet, because I don't know how much a Porsche bonnet is, but I'd imagine it's a damn sight more than £100. So yeah, like, that's the beauty of this car. It's everything's cheap, everything's pretty reliable as well, and everything's kind of doable by yourself, which is just, it gives you freedom to try things that you probably wouldn't try in other cars. But yes, I think that's why people like them so much. And I think more people are getting interested in these cars as well. Like, as time goes on, obviously when the car came out, it wasn't very popular. People kind of slated it. But as the years gone on, the amount of people interested in buying them has definitely increased. Even by my small time in owning the car, like 5 years, I've seen, when I bought it, no one really cared, and now there's quite a lot of like people on YouTube doing stuff with them. We've obviously got the Zarowski Motorsport guys there smashing it out the park with like what they're doing with the car. And then you got like really custom ones, like I think it's the Peter Zeely one, that's in South Africa. He's got like a time attack one that is just, I don't even think that's an MR2 anymore. It just kind of looks like one, but that's like, I think that's got a V6 turbo, like God knows how many brake horsepower, and it's got a wing on it the size of a small van. That's a bit mental. But yeah, like, it's a really fun car. As it stands at the moment, I think the car is pretty much done. Like, in terms of styling, I'm pretty much done. There's not really much else that I need to do. I've got a big brake kit just finishing up at Freaky Parts. That should be coming to me in the next couple of weeks, I hope. Yeah, and then once I get that fitted, I will hopefully start tracking it then. I don't really want to track it without the big brakes, just because, I don't know, it's a very powerful car, and I don't want my first track session in it to end up in the barrier, to be honest. And I'd like to go, I don't want to like pussy it around the track either. I'd like to go for it, you know, and not be held back by the brakes are fading after a lap because they're trying to stop so much power, kind of thing. I'd rather do it properly and have a good time there. So yeah, hopefully the next video you'll see will be either fitting the brakes. I don't know whether I'll make a video of that, to be honest, because it's quite a boring thing, like doing brakes, and there's a million videos on YouTube of doing brakes, so I don't know whether I'll do a video on that. But yeah, like, maybe the next video will be me going around track or doing something crazy. Who knows? But I'll see you next time. Thank you.